today I got a really good friend of mine. I met Haakon back on my journey, my first couple journeys down at Soul Quest down in Fort Myers, Florida. I mean, Fort Myers, Orlando, Florida. And we became really good friends on that path. We went to, we kind of like really bonded and joined a really good integration group. And I think we'll jump into a little bit about that on this call, how important integration is. And I'm just going to let Haakon introduce himself and we'll go from there. Hey, Hawk, how are you, brother?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you for having me. I'm super
Thank
honored to
you,
be
man.
here. And yeah, it's nice to see you and good to connect, man. It's been a while.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You know, we all come to this medicine like at a certain spot in our life, and it's kind of tough to finally get there. And once we get there, those of us who really find something in the medicine, really stay with the medicine, and we keep moving forward. What brought you to the medicine, Hawkins? What brought you there?
So I struggled for a long time with addiction and alcoholism, drugs and alcohol. And so the first time I tried to get sober, I was around 19 and I walked into the halls of AA and I was going to meetings all the time and doing everything that they were telling me to do. And I'd have, periods of sobriety, but it never really lasted, and then eventually I ended up going through a couple of detox centers and ended up finally going to like a real treatment center. I was there for about 3.5 months and I was doing everything that they were telling me to do. And when I got out, I had a significant amount of sobriety. I was pretty much coming up on a year of being sober. And I was doing, going to all of the meetings, and everyone in these meetings was just telling me the same thing because I had concerns because I was still really struggling, being happy and struggling with all these things that led me to drinking and using in the first place. So I was, kind of religiously studying the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous and doing all the step work and everything. And yeah, people just kept telling me to keep coming and that it's going to get better and to just not drink. Until eventually I was like, if this isn't going to get better, like, then what's the point, really? I was really struggling with, just being me. And so then I was looking for a different way of healing and discovered plant medicine. And I was actually looking into going down to Peru, but that fell through because of the pandemic and everything. So I ended up finding this place in Florida called Soul Quest, and I went down there and sat with ayahuasca for the first time. It really changed my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
We'll dive into
unbelievable.
that. Let's dive into that a little bit. How it changed your life? What happened? I mean, what kind of changed for you there? What changed?
So I sat with the medicine, and some of what I experienced was just there's no words for the experience.
Hmm.
It kind of just doesn't really, like, language doesn't really do the experience justice because it is so profound. But I woke up from my first night and I just got it, and I understood that I'm so much more than these labels and what people think of me and what I think of myself. I realized that I am part of this immense, infinite energy, and I'm so much bigger than all of these struggles that I had and everything. And all of these intrusive thoughts that I've been having for so long just vanished overnight.
Hmm.
And I was truly happy, and a lot of the time when I was struggling, if people came up to me, they wouldn't see it. I was really good at hiding it
Right.
and pretending that I was okay, and for once, like, I didn't have to pretend anymore. All of these intrusive thoughts that were like, deep seated into me, thoughts that, like, I'm not good enough and I'm not worthy of love, and um, you know those kind of, like, I really really disliked myself
Yeah.
for a very long time, was all gone, and I felt like a kid. I felt like I hadn't felt that happy and that at peace since I was, 14, 15 years old.
Right.
And it really did immensely change my life in that way. So yeah, I got more out of it than I ever got through any, traditional ways to deal with what I was struggling with addiction.
Now, was it just the medicine that did it? I mean, was it the medicine? Was that one hit wonder, or
So yeah, so I believe that the medicine facilitated the healing. It's a tool. It's not,
yes,
like a magic thing that just is going to heal you. You really have to do the work and heal yourself. But it really opens up the doors and clears the path for you to start heading down that path to better yourself. And it really kind of just started me off on a clean slate, and I was able to really look at my life from an honest like space and see that I wasn't these things that I was telling myself that I was, that like I could finally look at myself in the mirror and not hate what I was seeing, and like actually say that I love myself and care about myself. And I learned that I am a powerful person who is able to control his life, and yeah, so the medicine in that way was really a teacher. It really is a tool that helps
right,
me to be able to live, a more healthy lifestyle.
yeah. It's pretty amazing what that medicine brings out. That those first couple ceremonies. As you know, probably me and yourself, we've sat with the medicine somewhat a lot, and for what I could see, but I needed it. I mean, the medicine for me, I think, is just a catalyst. I think, like what you say, we start shedding all these unhealthy habits of ourselves, and the deeper we go, we want to figure it out more. So I think that's why we dive in so deep into these medicines, because just like you, I dislike myself so much too. And I was like, why? Couldn't figure it out. But Mother Ayahuasca figured it out for me. And I don't think that's the only medicine. I think there's so many. I mean, I think both me and there we I kind of closed the door in the beginning to one certain medicine. And once I opened that door up, man, there's a lot out there. And it's not all about the medicine. It's about different modalities too. What do you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with you on that. Yeah, there's plenty of ways, to for that facilitate healing, and ayahuasca is just one of them for sure. It is definitely the one that has done the most for me.
Yeah.
um, it's just been an incredible thing for me in my life. And for the first, I'd say about 6 to 8 months after my ceremony, I didn't think about drinking at all, whereas like my year of sobriety that I had before, I was still like desperately fighting it. I was waking up
Right.
every morning thinking about it. And finally I was free from that, and it was just such a relief. And it was like I finally understood that I didn't need these things to make me escape, like feel like I didn't feel like I needed to escape my life anymore. I didn't feel like I wasn't comfortable anymore, like
Mhm.
finally, like I was okay being me, and I was okay with all of my emotions and feeling them fully and expressing them. Because for a long time I had trouble expressing my emotions, because I didn't want to bother anyone or make anyone feel uncomfortable or sad or anything. So I would just pretend to be happy. And finally, I didn't have to do that. I was okay being sad when I was sad, and fully expressing and fully feeling my emotions.
Well, I
So
think as men, we're taught that too. As men, we're taught to suppress our emotions, which, is is the biggest part of the issue. I mean, especially in this community, men are finally coming to the surface, but for the most part, this medicine space and this healing space is predominantly women. I think we're out there still, but men like us need to stand up, but we need to be emotional, and it's okay. It's okay. This is the only way we're going to heal. I mean, like you said, you went through AA, and basically what AA tells you, because I went through the program also, I tried everything, is to white knuckle this, to just
Right.
white knuckle this. And it's like, why? I mean, what are we white knuckling? I mean, these medicines have the ability to really heal you at a cellular level, and that's nothing like that can ever happen. Nothing like that can happen in the medical world. I mean, it really doesn't. And you can go to years and years of therapy, and it doesn't happen. These medicines have that catalyst, and then it's for you to keep working on it. So it's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Had an experience with one of my friends before I ever start with the medicine where we were out fishing, and I started telling him about something that I was struggling with close relationships with my family and how it was making me feel. And he looked at me and he said, "Dude, are you really talking about your feelings right now?" And so then I just shut that down, and
Yeah.
we went back to talking about bullshit like sports or the weather or whatever, fishing.
Oh,
You know,
right.
but I think that is such, like you were saying, such a problem with what it's like to be a man in society today, because suppressing all of those emotions and not being able to be vulnerable and open up leads to um, engaging in vices and wanting to escape your reality, and it manifests in many ways. Of course, like for me, it was through drugs and alcohol,
Yeah.
but it also manifests, with eating, obsessively checking your smartphone, watching YouTube endlessly, pornography,
Right.
all these things that are just the temporary relief for people, and it's all, I believe, due to people trying to suppress their emotions because they don't feel comfortable enough to share them, and it makes them feel uncomfortable to a point where they want to escape.
Right, right. And then we keep passing it down to our lineages, don't we? We keep
Yeah,
passing it down to the next generation and the next generation because, that's all they know. They don't know any better. And
right.
and we keep passing down. I hate the word addictions because, I'm cured. I don't care what anybody says. I'm cured of whatever I was labeled as. And
Oh
because
yeah,
I definitely believe you. I'm cured. I could it's a gratifying feeling, and nobody can tell me I'm not.
absolutely. And that was another big issue that I had with AA was, I could never just say hello, my name's Haakon. I would
Yeah.
have to say hello, my name's Haakon. I'm an alcoholic.
Mhm.
And there's
Right.
people that have been in the program for 30 years who are introducing themselves as that, and it's just labeling yourself and reinforcing in your mind that you are powerless,
Mhm.
and um, now I can honestly am happy to say that, my name's Haakon. I'm not,
Mhm.
I don't need the labels anymore, and
True.
yeah,
So true. Such truth in that. I mean, we label everything. But I guess once we see, I mean, we see. We just see. And we say that a lot. And, I think it's the truth because we see differently than other people see. I mean, plain and simple, I see different than my family sees. There's no doubt about it. But they're still there. They're still here. When I already know. Really,
right,
there's nothing but one thing when it comes down to everything, and that's a love. That's a love. That's all it comes down to. So a love for you, a love for myself, a love for just a love, and it's just in the air. And we restrict that, and we restricted it for so long. So
exactly. And one of the beautiful things about these, unbelievably profound and humbling experiences sitting in ceremony is that you realize that you are part of this infinite love,
mm,
and that you're supposed to be in love and like feeling this love, and in being guided by love in your life rather than being guided by fear. And
mhm,
it's just a beautiful realization when in many of my ceremonies, things in my life have been reframed, and I've gotten to take a different perspective and different look at these bad things that have happened to me or traumas that I've experienced and everything. Um, and I'm able to completely reframe it in my mind so that it's no longer a traumatizing thing that's affecting me. And it's just unbelievable how these medicines are able to like rewire you like that,
Yeah.
especially like deep-seated traumas that have been affecting you for most of your life. You
That we don't
know,
even know, that we don't even remember, that we can't
exactly.
even connect to say, oh, that was it. And it's not like you say, oh, that was it. Something just happens. Something
Mhm.
happens over the time when you integrate all this, that you figure that out, that you go fix that wounded child and you bring it back. I mean, you have to go back to those wounds. And these medicines give you that ability. These medicines also, especially ayahuasca and iboga, they give you that ability to purge. And the purge to me is the biggest part of these medicines because you know most of these traumas are so embedded in your gut and in your stomach and down below in your chakras and your root that you got to purge them out. You got to get them out to fill them back in with that new shit. So that's what we're doing.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, when I like explain what ayahuasca is to my friends, a lot of people say, isn't there a lot of vomiting involved? And of course, that's technically what it is, but it's not. It's more
Yeah,
like an energetic, deep
absolutely.
cleansing of your being. It's not just vomiting; it's a true energetic purge and release. And it's an incredible experience, to finally be free of these things that are, really weighing you down, holding you down. And you can feel it. You can feel like you're letting go of something. And sometimes it can be difficult to purge. You can have trouble purging. And those are those things that, you know, you've been holding on to for a long time that, like you said, you might not even know you've been holding on to.
Right.
And it might take a while to get them out, but when they do come out, you know that, something left you. And you feel a lot better after, and a lot more clear. So yeah, and then I just wanted to touch on integration as well because
Yeah,
you
sure.
said in integrating these experiences, integration is so important. For a while when I started down this path, um, after the first time that I sat, I was just so like I was on the pink cloud as they call it,
Right.
and everything was right in my life, and I felt so alive and healthy.
Yeah.
And I was really looking at ayahuasca as just this magic pill that I took that fixed me. And I didn't
Hmm.
really make any real changes in my life. I
Yeah.
didn't, really apply a lot of the lessons. So for like around 6 months, 6 to 8 months, I was very happy with myself. I loved myself and I was very comfortable. And then slowly but surely, I started going back into my old habits of, like not making my bed or, um, not looking at myself in the mirror and smiling in the morning and like things that seem small but add
Right.
up over time. And then
Oh yeah.
all of the sudden, I'm telling myself that you're stupid. I'm saying that in my head, or I'm telling myself that I'm an asshole in my head again. And it's all this negative self talk starts coming back. And then I start getting sick again, and I think that integration is so important. A lot of people just like when they hit that point say, oh, it's time for me to go drink more medicine,
Yeah.
you know, and in reality, you just need to integrate the lessons that you receive from the medicine, and these profound experiences. So, but integration looks different for everybody. You know,
That's what I was going to ask you. What is integration? I mean, because we throw this word around a lot, but what is it?
right,
I can say what it means to me, but what does it mean to you? Because I just think integration means changes. Be aware of the changes that you should be aware of and change them. That's integration.
right, absolutely. Our good friend Bob from Soul Quest used to
Yep.
say, "Shut the fuck up and do the fucking work."
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
He used to say that to everybody, and for a while, I was like, just would laugh when he would say that because I'm like, oh, what does he mean? Like, I thought he meant like laying down on the mat and like, surrendering to the medicine. But in reality, he meant like fully integrating your experience, applying these lessons that you learn. So for me, integration looks like positive affirmations, uh, being grateful, practicing gratitude and recognizing when I'm grateful for something. Making my bed is a huge one, keeping my room clean. Big things that seem small, but keep me healthy and keep me, happy with myself. Daily meditation is another one. I've gotten real big into yoga and gardening, and these things that make me feel alive and make me excited about life, you know, um, different practices that, help me stay healthy and stay, on that
Hmm.
pink cloud, so to say,
Yeah.
and yeah, integration is so much more than group therapy. A lot of people just think that that's what it is because in a retreat setting, that's what it is. It's talking
What it
about your
is.
experience with a group. But integration is so much more than that. It's applying the lessons you've learned through the medicine. And for a long time, I've received the message from Mother Ayahuasca that I need to reevaluate my relationship with cannabis. And I've been smoking cannabis since I was 14, pretty much every day,
Hmm.
and I was applying all of these other lessons that she was telling me, but that one I was like kind of kidding myself and still stuck in the mindset that that was good for me and that it was a helpful teacher for me. And so I was never listening to that one, you know, and up until a recent ceremony a few months ago, um, I had a really strong, deep conversation with Mother Ayahuasca herself, where she showed me different ways that cannabis has affected my life negatively that I had been blind to, because when I had started, it was illegal, and I was so like upset that it was illegal because I knew that it was harmless, and I'd been telling myself that for so long, when in reality it was negatively affecting my motivation and my work ethic and my memory and my cleanliness, and I was losing things a lot. And so this ceremony, a few months ago, ever since I have completely stopped my cannabis usage. I still grow it because I love growing it,
Right.
but um I've stopped, and I've noticed so much, like so many beautiful things happen in my life ever since I've done that. And I think like integration is really listening to the medicine and understanding that the medicine is infinitely intelligent and knows a little bit more better than you know yourself, for sure, and just trusting. And so that's been a big one recently for me. Of
Hmm.
course, like, I still love cannabis, and it's not the same for everybody, of course.
Oh yeah.
I figured out that I'd been abusing it for so long, and
That's a
uh,
really powerful message because this community is very I mean, cannabis is a big part of this community. I mean,
right,
a big part of healing in general. I mean, but I do see this. I mean, cannabis to me is very different than psychedelics. I mean, psychedelics, there's results. I don't really, for me, I've never really seen too much results from cannabis. Just kind of makes me relaxed. It's kind of
right,
been a daily practice for me too, and you make me reconsider sometimes. I've been reconsidering for all my life, for as long as I've been probably smoking cannabis. But,
right,
you know, it's just something that I think don't ever be guilty to yourself because of it either. I
right,
mean, it's if you're okay, it's okay. If it's not
right.
affecting things, it's okay. But if it's
Of course,
affecting,
yeah,
people take things to that level and they say, oh, it's just everything's okay. It's okay. There's nothing bad or good, you know?
yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, and cannabis is a beautiful plant medicine.
yeah.
It's a very powerful plant medicine, and it helps a lot of people.
Mhm.
I just think that I have a little bit of a problem with moderation,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
I really realized through these ceremonies that I at least need a break.
That's a great
So
message.
I'm gonna hold myself to it now, and I want to go at least a year without it and see how I feel after the year. But I just want to that I made it like a pact to myself that I'm gonna go a year. So
And if you don't, you don't. You know,
right,
don't have you. I think we understand this on this path. If we don't, we don't. You know.
right, yeah.
So, so what are we doing now? What are we doing now, my friend?
Yeah, so now yeah, I had spent a lot of time flying down to Soul Quest to volunteer. I was going pretty much once a month, and I live in Massachusetts, so I was buying plane tickets to fly down to Florida to volunteer, to not even sit with the medicine, because that's how much of an impact that it had on my life. It really
Amen.
did change my life, and I genuinely think that wouldn't be where I am. I don't think that I would have the relationship I do with my family.
Yeah.
I don't think of that. There's a lot of things that I'm grateful and blessed to have in my life today that I don't think would be here without the medicine. And so I
Amen.
wanted to go down and volunteer and help facilitate this for other people because of how much it affected my life. And my brother ended up going down and sitting with the medicine, as well as my father, because they saw how much it affected me and changed my life. And I was able to sit there and be volunteering for when they were sitting with it as well. So, which was just a beautiful family healing experience, and it was just incredible, an
Now,
incredible thing.
are they still involved with the medicine still, or have they got
So,
their experience and moved on?
so my brother is a little bit. My father still is like dabbling in plant medicine, not ayahuasca in particular, but they did get a lot out of it. My brother's helping me work on starting our sanctuary, our church, but and then he's been a part of these ceremonies that we've been holding recently. But yeah, I think that I'm definitely the one that's dove the most into it. But I was also um, really broken, and you know yeah, it definitely like pulled me out of a very, very dark place. So I think that just the
The
change in
passion,
me was a lot more. Yeah, the passion is there. And so
for
then
sure.
um I had to slow down going to Florida because the plane tickets started getting a lot more expensive. And I got connected with this church up in New Hampshire and started going there, and immediately started working for the church up there. And I was going every weekend. And very quickly, I learned how to brew the medicine. And then I became the head, brewer for the sanctuary. And I was going up, pretty much once a month to go brew for them, which is just a wonderful, like labor intensive, but beautiful process of brewing this medicine. It takes around 5 days and it's very energetically draining. But I learned a lot about myself and a lot about the medicine through
I
this
bet.
process. And then I was also able to sit in a lot more ceremonies and help facilitate, and provide this medicine to allow people to, get on this healing journey and, discovering their own power and how to heal themselves, and so I was doing that every weekend for a long time, and it was just beautiful. It was really just such a wonderful experience up there. I met so many incredible people, and a lot of the people that are on my team today that are helping us, start our own thing, um, came from that sanctuary, and I'm super grateful for them and everything that we're doing. So yeah, it's very exciting. Um, yeah, so basically, I got inspired to start our own thing because I had noticed a few things about churches that I didn't really connect with, or didn't really
Resonate with.
resonate with exactly.
Mhm. Yep.
So a lot of these churches, and it's not just I've been to many churches in America, and it feels like there's a lot of performance, and there's a lot of ego in a lot of these churches, and a lot of people that describe themselves as healers and light workers and all this stuff, when in reality, it's the medicine, and it's the people sitting with the medicine that are the healers. They're healing themselves,
Amen.
and
Amen. Amen to that.
and the people that are there facilitating it are just there because they're experienced, and they maybe know how to read the energy and move the energy in a room, and play music and shake rattles and stuff. But there was a lot of ego that I was witnessing and not really vibing with, or understanding why there was a place for that in ceremony.
Mhm.
So I really wanted to start start something where it was very much focused on the participant, and the infinite wisdom of this beautiful medicine.
Right.
So um, I also really enjoy brewing the medicine, and things slowed down up in New Hampshire. There was a little bit of a hiccup there, and the church shut down for a little while. But all of a sudden, I went from working every weekend at these ceremonies to not at all.
Mm.
And I really wanted to, continue on this path, because it's just been such a beautiful path,
Right.
and so yeah, so it's been a long process. We're taking it very slow because we want to do everything correct, and
Mhm.
um, we don't really want to be. Um, we want to be doing everything the right way,
Right.
and we want to have everything planned and not rush into everything. So right now, for the moment, we're just like an invite only type of thing, and the ceremonies are very small, like
Mhm.
under 10 people. So, and I think we're going to stay like that for a while,
Yeah.
you know,
That's
until we,
smart, you know?
yeah, yeah, until we really have a solid team,
Mhm.
and we know that we like can fully trust and work well with each other, and write like a detailed, like a detailed program, and like papers on exactly what we want to do
Mhm.
with the church. We've been putting a lot of work into it, my brother and I, and like I said, the people that we have working with us are incredible, and yeah, it's just been a beautiful process. It's definitely been a process, but it's
Yeah,
it's
for
been
sure.
beautiful.
This, yeah, this whole space is a process, and I support you 100%. And we all have to go through what we go through here. I mean, we go through it through the real world. We go through it in the medicine world. We go through it in the healing world. I mean, we have to go through and notice these different spaces. I mean, we have to. We have to. I mean, there's no good or bad to any church, I don't believe. I think there's egos, like you say, but
Right,
there's healing happening at all these facilities. There's
right.
healing
No,
happening. So,
100%,
yeah,
absolutely.
so I'm just like, you're going to find your way when you find your way, because you said it many times in this conversation. We find a way how to heal ourselves.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and you're exactly right. Not to discount any other churches you know, particularly in America, but because there's a lot of healing that happens there, and I genuinely believe that they're saving people's lives.
Sure.
Um, you know, um, I just feel like some things could be done better.
It could be
And
done better because I think we're in a space for learning. I mean, we really
100%.
did ourselves an injustice by closing off these medicines so many years ago to any studies. I mean, we've been they've been we've been consuming these medicines and working with these medicines for thousands and thousands of years. So we don't we're all trying to relearn what we already knew. So,
Right?
you know, and for the most part, I think this Western world is really geared towards the psilocybin avenue. Mother Aya really has her presence. Mother Aya really opens that heart and shows you. I also think Mother Aya is infiltrating herself into the psilocybin whole regime because she knows we need healing.
right,
She knows.
right, and yeah, and psilocybin is doing wonderful things for people. Microdosing is
Yeah,
doing wonderful things for
beautiful.
people.
Yeah.
You see more and more people leaving the pharmaceutical industries, the
Mhm.
giant, big pharma, and turning back towards nature, turning back
Yeah.
towards plants, and uh, taking these beautiful natural antidepressants that are harmless,
Yeah.
and it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Well, we're in the journeys. We're not thinking they're so harmless, though, are we?
No, no, of course. I'm talking more about microdosing.
Oh,
Microdosing
sure.
psilocybin.
Absolutely. I
Psilocybin's,
mean,
yeah,
psilocybin. We got Hachuma. We got
yep,
Iboga. Iboga is powerful medicines. There's an avenue to all these medicines. I mean, that's why they're Schedule Ones because they work. That's the only
right.
reason they're Schedule Ones is because they work, and there's no
Yeah, and you
there's
can't
no
make
other
money
reason
off
they're
of
not. I mean, there are some scary moments on some of these medicines, but those scary moments come bring beauty. I mean, look at me and you. We flourished. We seen something better than where we were. It's where I am today, and I'm really passionate about this path, and I really love what I do.
it. Oh yeah, man.
I usually don't cry, but I'm just passionate, man. I love this. I love what I do, and I just see the power in these medicines, and they're just beautiful.
Of course, yeah, yeah. It's really, really something special. These medicines and being on this path and
Yeah,
witnessing the healing is
yeah, to see it,
unbelievable. It's
right?
unbelievable. I can't
Yeah,
tell you how many people have come up to me and told me that, you know, this is the last thing that they're trying. I've heard that time and time again, that my letter's written at the house. And if this doesn't work, then it's over. I've heard stories like that, and deep, deep traumas and PTSD and people dealing with very difficult mental health issues,
right.
and to see the healing, and witness an evolution and like a change in somebody just over the course of a weekend is
Yeah,
unbelievable, and you see it over and over and over again, and
over
it's
and
like
over.
it's like you said, it's something that works, and that's why it's illegal, right?
Yeah,
Because the pharmaceutical companies can't make money off of you, if you're not taking a pill from them every day,
right.
and if they don't have you reliant on something that they can keep you spending money on,
Right.
so yeah, that's why, like, you know, like antidepressants and things like Suboxone and methadone and things like that are great, for helping people in the beginning, but you're not supposed to be on that for your whole life. You should learn how to, be okay with just being you, and that's something that these medicines are, incredible, and it's remarkable how they can facilitate that.
Well, that's definitely why we're here. That's definitely why we do the things we do, why you do what you do, to educate to educate. There'll always be the people out there that will never even approach us because they're gonna believe in the 3D, they're gonna believe in the science, they're gonna believe into what they're being told. So, I mean, if you're truly and not believing it, if you're tired of hearing what you're being told, this is a great path to listen to educate yourself and to dive in and to learn. Don't dive in. I dove in fast and hard, but I studied a little bit. There's more out there now. There's a lot more out there. There's a lot, so much out there now that 3 years ago it was hard to find anything on plant medicine. Now it's everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. There's books and documentaries and
Mhm.
yeah, everything. People are talking about it, long blog posts and everything. That you can learn about this stuff, and it really is like a revolution.
Yeah.
But like you said, I think there's going to be people that are always just going to be in the stigma of like looking at these things as drugs, and looking at these things as, you're partaking in like something that's illegal, that you're not supposed to be doing, and I think that's sad, but can definitely feel it changing.
Yeah,
It's becoming a lot more mainstream to talk about it, and like I'm so grateful that you have this podcast because it's such a wonderful way to reach some of these people.
yeah,
um so because
it really is.
I really do think it can change the world. you
Sure,
know
certainly can. Well, my friend, it was awesome talking to you today. We'll definitely need to catch up. I love your smile. I love everything you do. You're the real deal, dude. You done the work. You did the fucking work. And look at you.
that's right. That's right,
Love you,
man. Yeah,
brother.
thank you so much for having me, man. I'm super honored that you asked me to be part of this.
Not
So,
a
and it's
problem.
so nice to see you, man.
You're a stellar dude. Love you much.
Love you too, man. Thank you.